this. We got Jill in the chat. What's going on, Miss Jill? That is the co-operator, co-owner, the creator of the beard products you love. Shout out to Jill down in the chat. But this is the Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff YouTube channel. Specifically, every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, we have the Doctor's Orders live stream where we talk about whatever the heck you guys want to talk about. Maybe it has to do with what's going on with this company and their products. Maybe it has to do with personal lives. Maybe it has to do with heavy topics, silly topics, rock bands, coffee, you name it. We're not afraid to cover it on this show here today, you guys. And today, to get your thinking caps ready, we're going to talk about springtime activities. We want to hear about the spring. What do you do in the spring that's like, yes, I get to get out and do this. Yes, it is that time of the year again. So get that loaded. If you want to drop a comment anytime, I can probably start, and we'll have plenty of times for any questions that you guys have today. And if you guys could, all the YouTube stuff is always appreciated. Hit the thumbs up. If you want to share this out on like your Instagram, which many of you are so amazing at. So shout out to Dennis. Shout out to anybody else in the chat that consistently shares it out. It's noticed and appreciated. But beyond that, my name's Dan C. Bearded. I'm the co-host of this show, and it's one of my highlights of the week. Genuinely, you can ask my wife. I tell her how much I look forward to this, how much like not even that I feel bad before, I just feel better afterwards. Like, I don't think you have to like set it up by saying like, oh, I feel like crap. Like, no matter where I'm at, having a great day today, it's going to be even better with hanging out with you guys and getting inspiration by the gentleman to my side here, who happens to be the doctor of the Dr. Nick's, the doctor of the orders, the doctor of time and space himself. And I did tell this story last night on stream about the flashing light and the barrel, which I've talked about on here. And I told the people that ever since whatever you like sprinkled on me, whatever portal you walked me through, that stuff hasn't stopped.
Dude, it's weird. The only way out is by not going in. It's one of those things where, like, you know, you see behind the curtain, and it's almost like then you can't unsee what's back there. It's like your brain's like, oh, that's possible, and then all of a sudden, it's just like the power of attraction, I think, starts happening once you realize that you can tune into stuff like that.
It's true, and I'll tell a quick one that I told last night, but it was freaky. Yesterday, we're driving, we're going to the store, me and Sam, and then Violet behind us. Violet loves cement trucks. Random, have no idea why, but she's
who don't?
Yeah, she's obsessed with cement trucks to the point where she screams every time she sees one. We buy her cement truck toys. She just loves cement trucks. Same for Nick. And I was just driving down the road, and I go, oh my gosh, a cement truck, it was ahead of us, I said, would be a perfect Mario Kart vehicle, right? You just turn that cement around, you dump it on them, like amazing special ability. Oh, yeah. As I'm saying this, we're in the slow lane because we got to get off. The cement truck's in front of us. A truck goes by us on the left-hand side. I'm saying the words Mario Kart. This dude throws out a banana peel out of the window.
No.
Sam lost her mind. And I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody ever throw a banana peel out of a window. I see this person. While I'm talking, I already said Mario Kart. I already was in the conversation. He literally, out the passenger side, so towards us, whoop, tosses it out the window. We lost our minds. We're like, that's not real. That's not possible. That can't happen. Like,
did your vehicle spin around in a bunch of circles and come to a complete stop?
No. We had the star, so we were good.
Okay.
We were like,
right, good.
We went right by it, but it caused a whole wreck behind us. So,
oh man,
yeah. So, if you guys don't know, when we say he is the doctor of time and space, number one, that's literal. You are an actual doctor of time and space, correct?
I am. Certified by the universallifechurch.com. And I think, that carries a lot of weight in certain social circles.
Dude, don't forget the .com on that one.
Listen, that's the part of the claim that leads everyone to know that, like, I think it's funny, and I don't actually, refer to myself
as
a doctor.
You have to. And there's not a lot of people that know this, but I am 3 credits away from a doctorate. 3 credits.
Three.
I have 2 master degrees. I consciously and purposely am not pursuing that doctorate because I don't want the position for someone to be like, oh, doctor command? Like, no, nope, not here. If I did, it would have to be like that, where you people are like, man, he really is like officially a doctor, and then you throw a .com, they're like, okay, this is my people.
Got it.
Now I'm doing all right.
So, and the reason I do things like that is because of a joke that went a little too far with my honorary doctorate title. So when I got that, so I signed up for this whole thing. I got that doctorate certification because I was ordained for a friend's wedding, so I could officiate the wedding.
Super common.
Right. You do it all the time. And it's one of those websites where you go, you pay your $30, you get your little thing, and they sign you off so you can bring your stuff to the clerk of court, and they sign you off as an officiant.
Nice.
So for an extra $30, you get to pick an honorary degree. Why not? They're an accredited education center, this church. So I picked that one, Doctor of Time and Space. So when I was flying down to Florida to go officiate this wedding for my friends, I thought it would be hilarious to list my name on JetBlue as Dr. Nick Phelps, because it asks you for a suffix. And I was like, well, I have one of those now.
Provable.
So doctor, thought it was just hilarious, because that way I could show my boarding pass when I got down there too and say Dr. Nick Phelps. I just thought it'd be funny. So I forgot about that. 6 years goes by. I'm on a flight back from Phoenix, Arizona, back to Boston. Some woman walks to the front of the airplane adjacent to my seat and collapses on the floor, passed out. They turn all the lights on and they say, we have on our itinerary, we have a doctor on board. Can Mr. Nick Phelps please come to the front of the airplane for a medical emergency?
Oh my God.
And I was like, I was right there. And I'm like, not that kind of doctor. Sorry, not even close. And she's like, oh, scientist? I was like, something like that. And she's like, okay, perfect. Nope. Okay, someone in the back says that they're a nurse. And I was like, cool, get her up here. Like, come on. Like,
wow.
I immediately edited my JetBlue profile to avoid any future confusion during a medical emergency.
So that is crazy. I thought you were going to say, like, it was really cool. I got special treatment and they call me things. And I was going to say, like, what if a medical emergency came up? Is there a doctor out there? And they're like, yes, but it happened.
It happened. Yeah. Like it was really, it was almost, I thank God for that nurse practitioner. She was fantastic, by the way. Took care of the whole situation. Woman was fine. The flight didn't need to land early. They stabilized her.
Wow. That is something. But for real, the company Dr. Nick's, the title and the life experience, and Nick could go on for stories of days and days and days about those weird kind of things that happen. So who knows? Maybe we'll have one. But yes, that was yesterday. Mario Kart, banana peel out the window. As I was saying, a cement truck could make a good Mario Kart vehicle.
I'm telling you, dude, it's like it's all out there. There's the ether, you know.
Yeah,
and it's palpable when you're in tune with it. It feels like sometimes.
Yeah, Joshua says you were real quick to say, "Oh yeah, not that guy at all."
Not that guy. Nope, not. These are not the droids you're looking for.
So you didn't even entertain the thought for half a second, like, this is my shot.
No, not even close. Because like that's someone's health. Blood sugar or respiratory or cardiovascular system that's having a problem there. Not gonna risk someone else. The main thing is, sure, if it's like a deserted island, do I think I know if I could like figure out what's wrong with someone and help stabilize them a little bit until medical help got there?
Right.
Sure, I think we all could if you have half a brain and you've watched ER. But so I think the problem is, though, I think my biggest fear was deterring someone else who was more qualified than me from stepping in and helping. Like, would I help another human in need if there wasn't anyone else around? Of course. Would I want to claim that I could do it and then prevent someone else from doing it? No.
Right. No, I hear you. I had, and last point on this one, I'm not getting too far off, guys, don't worry. But I used to be a lifeguard, like in college, high school. It was always kind of a consistent job. I worked multiple jobs usually, but I was a lifeguard. And we had at our gym, it was the University of Michigan, like rec center. On one of the pools, they had an above ground like hot tub, like you would get at your house, like not built into the tile and stuff. It was just like boom, set there. And so they had stairs to go up it. And I am watching the pool, and out of my periffs, right, I see this guy standing at the top of the stairs. All of a sudden, and there's like, like pool stairs that are like plastic, but they have like graded texture on them so you don't slip and fall. Yeah. He's on that, and that texture is like a mat on the tile below. So the water runs out, you don't slip.
Sure.
He's at the top of this hot tub. I'm seeing in my periffs, right? I'm just right here. Ooh, bam. face first down 4 stairs onto that like graded plastic mat that goes on top of the tile. I run over there. This dude is split from forehead side to forehead side. He gets up. He's missing teeth, and he's like a 50-year-old doctor. He's missing teeth because they hit. I'm like, whoa, are you okay? He goes, oh, I think I stayed in too long, and my blood sugar's too low. And I was like, wow, I'm not qualified for this. And I'm like, and I was like, you believe it's your blood sugar? He said, yeah. I said, I have some gobstoppers. You want some candy? And he was like, yeah, gave him some. It was crazy. He like came back to it, like almost immediately. And then
so missing teeth.
Yeah.
Then the only solution that you had available to you was gobstoppers, which you definitely need teeth to deal with.
Oh, no, you just suck on those puppies.
Okay.
That's all.
All right.
Yeah. You good. Yeah, this is a candy expert over here, buddy. So, no,
all right.
And then the wild thing was we called 911, obviously. We're getting all the help. People are rushing over and stuff. He refused medical attention due to his religion. And so he would not get any attention. I literally took 2 butterfly bandages and put one on top of the forehead skin, one on top of the bottom, put it together, handed him his teeth in a bag, and he went. That was it. We could not help him. And so, yeah, don't chomp gobstoppers. You'll lose more teeth too. For sure.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Yeah, those are. So I am not a candy expert, as you know. So I'm thinking this, like, I guess okay. So those are like the little version of jawbreakers, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Like the little guys. Yeah.
And so I just had to get him some sugar. So that stuff's terrifying, man. When you get into blood sugar and then helping people in the moment, and it's weird how quickly you like switch, and it's like, okay, like what are we doing? How are we helping here? It's wild.
Totally.
So I can imagine on the plane.
Oh man. Yeah, exactly. Thank God there was a nurse practitioner on there.
Right. And Leo says, I've heard of seasons, but I don't live where they are 3-month chunks, more like random days at a time. Okay. Yeah.
I've heard of seasons.
Yeah.
That's how I hear Leo say that. I'm like, I've heard of seasons before.
Right. Yeah.
It's weird. I grew up without seasons, and then I grew up with seasons.
Yeah.
You know, New England very much has, there's a lot more seasons in New England than just the 4.
Right.
You know, you have pollen season, you have a couple of days of, hot, humid, and then you have rain, and then you have snow. Well, and then you have rain again. And then it just goes to dark and rain. Yep. So that's about it. It's a cycle of either pollen, leaves, snow, or rain. That's kind of with maybe 5 or 6 days amongst each of those others of like tolerable weather.
Yeah. And it's changing. Michigan, well, actually, it was the whole U.S., I believe, maybe the world, but for sure U.S. had its coldest April in like 50 years.
Yeah, it was. It was the coldest April. Then where was the other weird one? It was the longest tornado season in the down, in the southern states, and the tornado belt has widened.
Yeah.
And it's widened, and now it was a longer, duration, and they were more intense.
Well, yesterday they had a big one in like Nebraska area during the stream.
Yep. Dude, it's like they're not usually continuing into this, into these months.
Right.
Well, they pick back up again, I guess, in summer then, don't they?
I don't know enough, but
I never lived anywhere long enough where we had. I lived in Missouri for a while, and I went through a couple of tornadoes there, but I hadn't lived anywhere where there was like a regular thing.
Yeah, and CO says, if I lived in the U.S., I'd love to live in New England.
Dude, yeah, I mean, listen, it's of all the ways I like to make fun of New England, and how well we just did making fun of ourselves during the roast of Tom Brady. What did you watch that, Dan?
Oh,
of course. Beautiful.
Nikki Glazer, Tony Hinchcliffe. Oh my gosh. Ben
Dude,
Affleck was atrocious.
Of course, he was awful.
An embarrassment to Boston. But
well, he was. So but who's the guy you just said, the podcaster guy?
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Dude, Hinchcliffe, what I love about him in that whole roast is that, like, okay, hold on. We're going to come back to this. It's a bigger topic. As much crap as I talk about New England is what I was saying. Listen, we're next to the coast. It is really nice. Like I don't like the short days in winter. I feel like I get depressed leading up to winter, knowing it's coming, and I feel like I have to recover for like a month afterwards. So I feel like because of that, I only feel normal for like 3-4 months out of the year.
We've become, I don't know if it's because I hang out with you and you got this weird time and space, we've become way more aware of that as well.
Oh,
And it'll kind of lead into the topic later today that I'll talk about with spring. But you're right,
yes.
man. That as I'm getting older, that gray winter is affecting me. The short days is
The
affecting me
short
more
days.
and more. It really is, man.
Because you know what it is too is going to start getting you, I bet. And we didn't talk about this last year, and it wasn't part of my warnings of, well, jumping off the bridge and working for yourself. There's a couple of things you should know. There's one of them is I think you start holding yourself accountable to not to someone else's expectations of you, but your expectations of yourself. And because of that, there's a certain amount of stuff that you have on your list you want to get done in a day. And
Every
for
day.
me, my internal clock in the summer, when it starts getting dark out after dinner, then I know that it's time that I should probably make sure all my stuff is wrapped up.
Yep.
And that way I can go relax and I can go do whatever else I want to do. And in the winter, when it starts getting dark at 4, 2 hours before dinner time, I start getting panicked about my stuff not being done at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so like the anxiety cycle I go through in the winter is brutal because it's just like I feel like I'm out of time constantly.
Yep.
And in the summer, like last night, I'm out back, like we'll talk about this today. I was out back playing with this cool satellite positioned RTK robot mower in our lawn. And I'm like out there programming Walter, going around in the backyard. Yes, his name's Walter. It was like 7:30 at night. And I'm like, got a beer, got a mower out in the lawn. It feels great. Complaining about bugs. Like, it's like,
right.
That's when
Life's
you want to be
good.
wrapping up your day, not at 4.
Yeah, I can completely understand that. And then your morning doesn't get started in the same way. You feel like I'll wake up at the same, like right now, if I get up at like 6 or 6:30, there's light. Like it's not dark at 6 o'clock where I live right now. It's not. I mean, the sun's not up, but it's not dark out.
It's at least a lit sky.
Yeah. And in the sun or in the winter, it's like 8 o'clock before it really gets light out. And that messes with me. It really does.
It's so bad.
Yeah. And for me in the East Coast, I love and hate how brash people are because I like to know where people stand, right, with me. And on the East Coast, like New England, they're going to tell you. Nobody's going to hold back thoughts and feelings.
No.
My biggest pet peeve is the skinny roads. And it's just simply because it was built at a time when vehicles weren't as massive as I'm the poster. I have a big old truck, so I get it. That's tough for me. Those skinny roads and aggressive drivers, it's tough.
Tell me about it. I'm now that it's summertime, I'm driving around my 89 K5 Blazer. Like that thing's as wide as a lazy boy large love seat,
Yeah.
It's like, you could sit 3 people side by side, 4, in either of the seats. So it's like little horse trails that these things were made from, like across these little paddocks where we live. It's like, oh man.
Oh yeah.
Now, watch out for mailboxes.
What is your snake variety looking like?
In Maine?
Oh, in Maine. Okay. So
by the way,
he was talking about New England earlier. So
Maine's New England. Maine's New England, that counts.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, damn right. There's snakes. There's snakes in Maine, and you know what? They're the ones that live through Maine winters too. So, I don't like the fact that there's snakes that can live through winter and then still come to kill me the next summer.
Right.
And they're up there.
Okay.
Definitely up there.
Yeah. What about you guys? Do you guys have snakes in your area?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We have your normal, just kind of, there's actually like there is like a couple of, there's not many poisonous snakes up here. There's a couple.
Yeah.
Like I know there are areas of New England that oddly enough have like a certain kind of rattlesnake.
We do too.
Yep. They're kind of, they kind of exist everywhere, but I don't really know if I don't think there's too many poisonous varieties up here.
Yeah. We have the Michigan rattler and we have the cottonmouth. Those are our 2, the water moccasin. Those are our 2, like scary.
We have those. We have water moccasins. That's one of the ones that's up here.
Those suck. Those are aggressive. Those are nasty little
They're
buggers.
Territorial. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I had one in a pool in Florida once. It like got in our pool in the backyard.
Yeah. Garter snakes. Most people in here know my story, the garter snake. But yeah, we have garter snakes. We have milk snakes. Yeah, we have all those ones. And I do the same. We take vitamin D all year round. Even right now, we start our day with some vitamin D drops.
Yep, I do vitamin D3, along with B12, the just the injectable kind. It's this time of year, you're like in the winter especially, you need it.
Sam has done that before.
Yeah, it's the same kind you get at the doctor, a little insulin, kind of, it's just a little butt cheek prick, and it just kind of, you get your D and your B12, and there's like a couple other things that are, in that one. The methionine, I think, is one of the ones that's in the B12 shots. But
Okay.
B12 and D3, man, those things definitely helped a lot the past 2 winters.
Yeah. And now we do have the winter, right? That is tough on us, but it's also tough on things that kill people. So the
Yes.
nice thing about Michigan and New England, we don't really have black widows, brown recluse, the real bad snakes. Like Greg right here says, in Arkansas, we have about all the flavors of snakes. Yeah, you got all this. You probably have all the spiders. You got all that stuff. It's
Oh,
like
you got all of that because it can live all year.
right, and you get the benefit of the sun all year, but all the things that also like the sun, you get all year.
Yeah, and they also, that means they have all year to plot about how to get better at killing you. And here
Right.
they kind of have a reset switch. They have to figure that out for themselves every year.
Yeah, they like go to sleep and have like a awakening with a new personality.
Yeah, exactly. And the brown recluses suck because they're up here for sure. And
You guys have them?
Oh yeah, yeah.
See,
Those things are up here.
They're not native to Michigan. The only time we get them is when they're like, we had like a lady in her garage had a breakout we actually had a county jail. I don't know if Tony's in here, my buddy. He works there, and sergeant, I believe. And they had a breakout of brown recluse in his county jail. It's always from furniture being shipped from other states up to Michigan.
Yeah.
And they hide in the crevices of the furniture and then get in a garage and they breed and multiply and stuff. But we don't really have them here. We don't have any spiders other than wolf spiders to really worry about.
That's why they quarantine furniture when it comes, not just animals, but when you ship large quantities of furniture into a manufacturer like into Hawaii,
Yeah.
they quarantine it because there's no snakes and there's no poisonous spiders in Hawaii.
Come again?
Yeah, no snakes, poisonous or not. There is no snakes in that jungle. Well, that's why people usually miss that. So like, and you clearly did. So what's neat is like Hawaii is the one place where you can take your shoes off and hike in the jungle and you never have to worry about stepping on something that can kill you.
No way.
Yeah, there's nothing poisonous in those jungles that has teeth.
Man, because I know they have invasive species. What is the deer? And that was, I believe, was introduced, so that's different. But there's a deer in Hawaii that is, oh my God, axis deer. They were introduced there, and it's like the greatest hunting in the world. And so interesting. So they have seems like a pretty good control on their invasive species.
They do. There was like a banana snake or something. I forget, or a brown snake. It came in like a shipment of bananas from somewhere. Which why you're shipping bananas to Hawaii was always mind-boggling to me. Anyway,
got that new shipment of kukui nuts coming.
Talk about selling ice to an Eskimo. Like the guy who closed that contract, like selling a boat full of bananas to Hawaii. Like give that guy a medal. Like that's
hilarious.
That's a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves if I ever heard one.
Yeah, and Timothy says he also lived in Hawaii. He said just the centipedes.
Yeah, and you know what? They can't really. They just suck. They can't kill you. You know, but like, man, there's nothing like sticking your foot in a shoe that has a centipede in it. There's just something special about the shock and pain that accompanies it, and
like
it's
actual shock.
No, just like
okay.
shock, you know, like stunned. It's like, oh man, those things hurt. And
I've
like
never really experienced one. We don't have them here that common.
And we don't have them here, but I still tap out every shoe I put on before I put it on because of getting used to it in Hawaii.
Man, and that actually is kind of leading into the topic. So spring, right? The whole concept is coming out of winter, coming out of that tough time. For me, one thing that I love, especially having young kids, is all the animal babies being born everywhere. So we have in our yard, I don't know if they're bushes or trees, little evergreen things that go vertical. And
Abrevieties.
Yeah, something like that. I think, giant arborvitaes, yeah. And we have 3 up against our house by our garage. We have a duck nest where the mom's been sitting on there for like a week. So we're going to have little ducklings. No. We did last year. It was in a different spot of the house, and something got in and got all of them.
Something ate those ducks.
And that wrecked Sam. Like, wrecked Sam. So I'm like,
don't show her that video on Reddit of that bear at the zoo eating the ducks.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. So I'm on like daddy daycare watching these ducks and trying to make sure it's all covered. I literally had like a fence around it the other day because there was a hawk hanging out. And so I'm like, nope, not doing it. And so I'm trying to help them. But I love that. We go on walks and go see the swan and duck and the goose babies and all this stuff. It's just so cute. And having little kids to be able to like experience like life and birth and stuff, that's for me. I'm like, all right, we got spring. The little babies are out. This is amazing.
You know, Jack's not super into it for some reason. He's kind of like, oh, those are cute. And then he'll like move on to go wanting to like break something or throw rocks at something in the woods. But I have Jill, which is just like bringing a little kid full of wonder with you into nature to see little babies popping up. I was literally just going to, oh God. So like between the coyotes, but like, let's go on the sweeter side of not you running in barefoot down into the woods while a pack of coyotes was clearly eating a baby deer to try to make them run away without a flashlight, barefoot. Well,
good for you, Jill.
That was Jill. Like she's humanity. She listened. If
I'm
she
taking
would
Jill in that fight,
she would say, "Oh, you know what?" At that moment, like she had like mom instinct for that baby deer she's never met. And
I'm taking Jill.
Yep. She would have shredded. We would have had. Yeah, she would have come back covered in coyote blood.
A little whimpering away for those coyotes. Yeah. She's just booting them.
She would have been like beating one up with the other one, like holding it by its legs.
Yeah.
Not on my watch. But we out back in our woods, we were walking. We get a lot of turtles. We get a lot of like big ass turtles into our yard that are trying to like find little spots.
That's cool.
Snappers and we went out down to this little pond next to the cranberry bogs in our woods. And we literally stumbled back there and we saw like this sand kind of shooting up in the air.
Ooh.
It was all the turtles from the lake. They had come up into the path and they were scooting their back legs out, digging out holes for their eggs.
Cool.
And so we like watched it all happen. And then like, I don't know, one year we caught a bunch of babies following one of the mom out of one of those holes back down to the water.
That's pretty crazy. Cool.
What kind of nature? Are you crazy?
Are they just painter turtles or are they snappers? Or?
They're snapper turtles. Yeah, they're big ass ones though.
Careful.
Oh, dude, we had one under our barbecue. I didn't know what the hell I thought. Jill came and got me. I mean, the thing was wider than like shoulder to shoulder on me. It was about this big.
Wow.
And we got it to crawl onto like a drop cloth, like for painting, and we just kind of scooted her across the grass and just kind of brought her back down into the woods because like. They try to find high ground, but the only thing past our house on high ground is roads and stuff that would kill it. So we were just trying to get it back into the woods.
Yeah, snappers are. So there's two animals that I really enjoy. One I love, but they remind me of like dinosaur age. And I'm like, they just remind me. Snappers are one of them. Like you get the little spikes on their tail and then up the shell. It's like this thing is a nasty, nasty dinosaur, like just a dinosaur.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which is like one of my spirit animals, are sandhill cranes. Those things are beautiful. They're massive. And I think they do go back to, oh man, it's in there. It's one of those like foggy ones, but there's something about sandhill cranes. It's like the longest like consecutive species of bird that we've had, something along that goes back to like the dinosaurs.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, I love them.
Dude, there's some cool stuff out there though. This time of year is really cool for like the nature side of stuff because especially around here, we're right next to a bird sanctuary, so it's like it's like across. We should have brought you over there when you were up here, but it's like right across from our house. It's Webster's Wilderness, I think it's called.
I had saw the nest that they had made by the ocean for the peregrine falcons. That was amazing, unbelievably amazing.
Yeah, there's so many of them here that pretty much everywhere you go that has a big body of woods and water, you'll see big, huge supports that have those big nests up there for them.
That's so cool. Yeah, sandhill cranes have been around for 2.5 million years with their exact state that they're in right now. They have
they haven't evolved and changed. Okay, interesting.
Yep, 2.5 million years old. They have the fossils, and it's like the exact same thing.
Wow,
that's so cool. And they can live up to like 37 years old.
That is nuts. I remember they had a bunch of those when I was down in Florida. There was a pretty good deal of them in certain parts of the area down there.
Yeah, and people call them the ribeye of the sky. It's supposed to be like steak. Like their meat actually looks like a steak.
Wow. Ribeye of the sky.
Yep. Yeah. I'm a meat eater, right? I eat meat with every meal. I'm dang near carnivore. I don't know if I could do that because it would break my heart. And that's like, I know it's like soft and weak, but man, they're just beautiful. They're just majestic. I love them.
Yeah, there's a few animals I won't eat just because I think they're really cool. And I'm like, man, if there was like if I was out in the wild and I was starving, I'm like, that's actually one I might just pass up and wait for something else to come along to eat that
Right.
day.
Right. Yeah, sandhills
Like,
are for sure one.
maybe I'll go catch a fish. Maybe he'll catch me one.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Can we be buddies? Okay.
Hey, guy, I won't shoot and eat you so long as you just maybe drop me a fish once in a while when you're out there doing your thing.
Exactly. So, chat, let us know, what are things that you look forward to in the spring? What are things that you're like, yes, I get to get out and do this. I get to go out and do this. Nick, I feel like you have a bunch of things. Like, I feel like you are a spring baby. Like, you are like, you get like rebirth. You go out. You love all your like toys that you have outside. You love projects. So I want to hear it all. I want to be a listener on this one because I feel like you got good ones.
Oh, dude, so many good ones. So, like this time of year, what starts happening is like basically if I'm home, garage doors are open. I'm in the garage or in the backyard or in the driveway working on something. Like it's gonna be something. And so some of our favorite things as soon as it happens, first thing that happens in springtime, Jill's doors and roof on her Jeep come off and they don't come back on until she's really forced because of rain or another reason. Yeah, exactly. And then of course, Sir starts getting many more walks into the woods.
There you go.
But what we start cleaning up is paddle boards come up out of the basement and they kind of move to the side of the house or out in the backyard and kind of just live there basically until September. And electric skateboards come out. Those get tuned up, bolts tightened down, batteries charged up. And then, of course, that's when it's a good time to start building new electric skateboards too, with all the parts that you've collected from eBay over the course of the winter.
Nice.
Because, that's the thing you can do inside during the winter that makes you think of spring. And then when it gets to spring, you get to go play with it.
That's awesome.
So that's super cool.
I didn't even know that was a thing to build.
Oh yeah, you gotta. Yes, very much so.
Okay.
It's a great hobby because it's fun to. I mean, for me anyway, I love the engineering side of it. So like when I was building the most recent one, like messing with helical versus straight cut gear drives and the ratio I wanted for the amount of torque to get up different hills and how I want bindings positioned, turned to speed curves and stuff like that's my thing. And I'll get out and I got a spreadsheet with the whole battery drains and the BCMs and how they pull battery power to the motors. And I get way too into it.
That's wild.
Imagine that.
You're
and
right.
then, car projects. So like in the winter, like for example, I've been working on this K5 Blazer like all winter. We did the whole interior of this thing. We'll get some photos up on Instagram now that it's springtime and it's getting cleaned up and on the road. But I basically have windows down and I got new crocodile belly seats in the K5. We got to post some pictures of those, but I've just been rocking that thing around town. So the truck comes out, skateboards come out, the paddle boards come out, start making more cold brew coffee. Oh yeah. Get a little street sweep.
Oh yeah. Look at that. That's a cruising.
Oh, dude. Yeah. That one that I'm on right there, that's the newest one that I built with a guy that's out in Colorado. And Jack was there in front of me. But the one that I'm on gets up to about like 35.
Oh, my God.
it's no joke.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, it's a Black & Decker shoulder wrecker. Like it wants to, it definitely it wants to have its way with a collarbone or a shoulder for sure. But I'm cautious. Now that I hit 40, of course, I try not to go 40 on my electric skateboard. That's kind of like my new rule. No 40 at 40. That's a typical trunk for us going out in the weekend. Like we got shoes, we got backpacks, we got coolers. We got one wheels, electric skateboards. Like this would be what our trunk looks like if Jack and Jill and I decided we were like, hey, let's go get brunch and then go somewhere after. Like that's just a Saturday morning out trunk right there. We like literally bring them everywhere because we're like, oop, that looks like a good place to go for a ride. Let's go.
That's so interesting because my mind doesn't work that way at all. I don't have something like that. So I like hearing about that.
Dude, yeah, it's fun because like once in a while we'll go somewhere where we don't really know the area and we'll see like a big body of water with like a dirt walking path around it, maybe
Yeah.
something that goes out to the beach. And you can jump on mine and go over rocks, gravel, dirt, sand, like whatever you want. And look at that big idiot. And so it's like like you can literally go down the street at 20 miles an hour, go straight into the grass and up a hill and stop. And I mean it's got really good suspension setups on it.
Do a kickflip.
Do a kickflip. That
So
would be terrifying.
Yeah. So you place your feet in the straps, but you're not constricted to it, or you're not.
No.
Okay.
You can slide your feet in and out. It's just so that like when you pull your toes up, it'll pull the side of the board up so you can turn better.
Yeah.
And it kind of just goes from like the arch of your foot to the other side of your foot right there.
Okay.
Like right behind the ball of your foot.
Yeah.
And I keep them, like you slide your foot in and you kind of ratchet them down once to make them snug. But you can still at any point just relax your foot and slide your foot out and you're fine.
Okay. That's a super sick photo, by the way. I love this picture.
Yeah, I love that one too.
Yeah.
I forget what I don't know what the hell I was laughing at either. Jill had me laughing about something.
In the background. He wiped out and you were like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. That was like Jack literally just going like tip to tip down a hill and I'm like, oh.
Exactly. Yep. I think that was a true experience. And then you guys also love like you mentioned, your paddle boards.
Oh, dude. Paddleboarding is like definitely one of our favorite things to do. That's actually a funny photo because all that crap that's on my paddleboard there, the little body of land that's behind us in that photo is actually a little island in the middle of a river.
Okay.
And our friends own it. His family's owned it for like 100-something years. And so we behind that is the bird sanctuary actually.
Okay,
so
cool.
What we'll do is go out there and camp on that little island and we get everything out there on the paddle boards. So like I'll literally have like barbecues, coolers, cases of water, our tents, like everything just strapped up to the top of my paddleboard. And I'll just paddle out there with it and we dump everything off.
No way. And then you camp for the night?
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool, man.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And there's like no running water or electricity or anything out there. So it's like full on camping and it's bonfire bug spray and kind of a thing, but it's nice.
I really like that. That's
the
really,
paddleboarding's
really cool.
Super fun. And that paddleboard can hold, I think, like 350 pounds and still stay on plane pretty well.
Is it a blow up?
No, that one's a fiberglass.
Okay.
That company is the one that makes the best inflatable ones out there, though. The company's called Boat.
Okay.
It's BOTE. But boat boards are awesome. They have fishing pole holders in the decks. They have, they have a little slit that holds your paddle for you while you're standing there. It has cooler straps on the back, so you can actually put down a Yeti cooler, strap it on there, and you can sit on the cooler while you're paddling. So if you have a long paddle, you can just like sit down on the paddle board and just take your time.
Now we're talking, because I will admit, I am a very coordinated and athletic human. If we go out on a basketball court, I can hang with anybody. You want me to throw a football, I can chuck it. Swimming, I'm better than most people on this planet. I can do all these things. I can't stand up on a paddleboard, dude. My parents live on a lake. I bought a paddleboard to keep there. I've never gotten up. Ever.
You've never been able to stand up on it?
No. And I am an athletic, coordinated guy.
Is it inflatable?
What's that?
Is it inflatable?
We have both. I can't do it on either.
Okay. All right. So can't blame either one of those.
No, I know. Trust me. I tried to find excuses and there's nothing. I don't know. I'm not very flexible. I don't have a low center of gravity, and
that's probably a big part of it. Is that like you would need a good 12 or 14 foot board, and it would have to be a wide one.
Probably just the wrong size. Yeah,
you probably were on the wrong size. It's like trying to balance a beach ball on a yarn needle if you get the wrong size kind of thing,
Okay, that makes sense, because it's one of the things in life that I refuse to accept, because I'm like, I should be able to do this. I just can't. And I've tried year after year after year. I just can't get up.
Nope. Next time you're out here, we'll get you up on one.
Okay. All right.
We'll make that happen. Or maybe this summer up there at Picture Garage. We'll figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're camping. That would be cool. Because I want to get up just to be able to say I did it, but yeah. Yeah,
paddleboard size must match the human, as Shane's Beard says. Yes, very much true.
All right. Good to know there. Good to know there.
Oh man. just got rid of that one. So that truck is gone and is no more. And in place of it, we'll get photos up of the K5. But I'm so pumped because that was a fun project and it was great this time of year.
Right. And it was a project for you, right? Because for people that don't know, Nick, you like to buy project vehicles, but in a specific way. What is your type of project vehicle you look for?
So I look for one that is like partway through being restored. Actually, my favorite is one that's just in good shape, in original shape, and has some things like mechanically that are just old, right? Like, so you can work on the engine and tune it back up, and maybe you're dealing with heads and valves and things like that. But I don't want a completely blow-by ridden engine that needs to get swapped out, and a rusty frame and a bunch of body panels that need to come off. Like, there's two things I am not. I am not a body guy. I'm not good with dents and sheet metal. I'm not good with painting. Don't know why, just not my thing. And maybe someday it will be, but as of now, it's not. And upholstery. So like literally like paint, upholstery, body panels. Those are the only things I can't do myself. And everything else I like to do myself. So I like to be able to like the K5 I'm working on now, for example, I'm replacing damn near everything on this vehicle, like except for body panels and frame and drivetrain, some of that too. But the interior, I was able to design and have someone else stitch for me. And then I installed all of it, which was cool. I did all the carpet with a pre-cut kit that was neat, and I installed it all myself, right? And then I'm having someone else do the paint. But I'm like basically overhauling the whole engine, the transmission, the drivetrain, working on the interior. All the electronics have been pretty much reworked inside of it now. Gauges, dashes, everything that has vinyl or fabric on it's been replaced. So it's like that's the kind of stuff I like doing, though, is either getting something right back to like really nice modern components, but that look original, or buying something that's like part way through some sort of a renovation and then finishing it,
Yeah.
But that's where you'll find me, like in the spring. I'm going to be barefoot with sparks flying everywhere, an angle grinder or a cutting torch in my hands, and that's me all day until something makes me stop.
That's so sick. That's so sick.
It's my happy place.
Yeah, no, that's great. That is awesome. And then some other ones, and we'll circle back if we have any other ones to share for us. Kevin does bass fishing and yard work. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Fishing, absolutely. Fishing is one. So I grew up fishing. I grew up on Lake Michigan, and we didn't have a lot of money growing up. One thing I could do without a lot of money is go fishing. Now, one aspect, I feel kind of bad about this one, but it's actually illegal now, but it wasn't when I was a kid. I would just go in the woods and get salamanders. The bait for fishing was salamanders. I don't care if it was perch, walleye, bass, even some trout, some steelhead, some rainbows, but it was unbelievable fishing, and it was dang near free for me. So I'd go fishing all the time, and I'd go pretty much every day. As I've gotten older, I've gotten away from, my parents live on a lake. My parents have a boat. We are surrounded by lakes. We go camping. I just, for some reason, don't have an interest in it anymore. I'm not quite sure why, but I used to love it. And it was just kind of my thing. You ever go fishing, Nick?
Dude, so same as you. I fished like crazy as a kid. So like moving around so much. Whenever I'd get to a new place and I didn't know anybody, like that's one of the things I could go do like by myself. That wasn't a weird thing to go do by yourself,
Right. Yeah, like, it's totally normal.
It's totally normal to go fishing solo. And it was one of the few things I could do without my parents being worried that like, he's withdrawing and not wanting to be social with people. I'm like, leave me alone, I'm fishing.
Right. Perfect.
And so I did a ton of it. And then, I don't really know what it was. Like, I guess maybe early 20s, I still fished a bunch. I had some friends that went fishing. And I think I just got into other stuff. And then I didn't have any of the equipment.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where like up here in New England, like I learned how to fish in Florida, in California, and I fished a lot in Hawaii. Fishing up here is very different. The waterways are different. The types of fish you catch are different.
Yeah.
And the bait you use is different. The equipment you use. And I feel like it's one of those things where I've gotten so far out of it that most things I like to do, I'm really comfortable doing. Like I learned a lot about it.
Yeah.
And I don't like doing things not being confident. So I think it's just one of those things where like I'm so far out of it that I don't know much about it anymore where I am. So because of that, it's not something I think about doing because I just don't know enough about it.
Yeah. And I like to do, I'm an efficient person with a busy schedule. I like to do things where my time spent is actually doing the things. And what I mean by that is
Yeah.
with fishing, there's so much time spent leading up before, there's so much time spent after that isn't the actual fishing.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard for me to get past that. It's the same thing. I used to love metal detecting. I was obsessed with it. But it's a full day and it's so much setup, so much cleanup, and it's like I just like to go do things. Like if I can go to the park or I can go to the mill pond and walk around the mill pond, and I'm doing it the whole time, and I love it. And right here with Buffalo Todd, he says, I love the flowers that bloom. Same here. But again, funny story today. Literally today, we're going to the gym. Our gym is at a hospital. It's a rec center at a hospital, separate, but at the same place. The entrance to the hospital had black flowers blooming. And Sam goes, who came up with the idea to have black flowers at the entrance of a hospital? Ominous much. Like what?
A little off. Yeah, a little tone deaf.
I think it was Jill probably. She planted them. I feel like Jill would love black flowers.
Oh yeah, she would. She does.
Yeah. And then Greg goes mountain biking. I feel like you guys bike.
Yeah, we do. Yep.
Okay.
And who does quite a bit is Dennis, Beardo Weirdo in here.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
Yeah. He's at Serious Cycles down in Plymouth. And so he was actually just talking to me about a trip they're doing in August to Killington. And they basically go up there and it's like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of thing.
Okay.
And so like Friday's a pedal day where it's like mostly trails, and then Saturday is just a straight downhill day. So like you started up at the top somewhere and you literally just cruise downhill and then go back up to the top. So it's like a lot of just downhill courses.
Nice.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
And so, but from our backyard, I can drop down from our backyard and go right out into a Hoyt Hall Nature Preserve, which is awesome.
That's super cool. Super, super cool. And yeah, Serious Cycles, what city is it in if people want to check it out?
Plymouth. It's in Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Awesome.
Yeah, okay. And they do some super cool stuff down there. Really good dudes.
Nice. And Joshua says, attempting to start a hiking journey, hoping I won't get lost. Now, this is something we have gone all out in. We are hikers now. We have 4 days this summer, 4 or 5 days where the kids are going to go over to the grandparents and stay. Immediately, we're like, we're going hiking. We just got to figure out where we're going to drive to and what we're going to hike. Hiking has changed me for the better. Hiking has like completely rocked my world because it's so different, right? As you said, like I'm doing this is what I do for a living now. So I'm in this at all times and I have artificial lights. I'm surrounded by walls. I have the ground right here.
Yep.
Man, when you get out to Acadia National Park, when you get up to Pictured Rocks, when you go through Michigan, and you, even on these hikes, you go through like a forest, into a beach, into a mountainous, rocky area, the different smells, the different things you see, the way the ground feels, it is like, I get it. I get the hippie side. I get like the nature lovers. Dude, life is crazy. How many times are there things where you used to make fun of them and then you come around and you're like, oh, I get why you have your shoes off in the grass. Why? Because it feels freaking awesome.
Oh yeah. Dude,
Like,
I just had one of those recently too. I was like, I feel like I've made fun of that too long to like it. And now I'm stuck. And I forgot what it was. I even talked to you about it. It was like a couple months ago. But
yeah,
no,
I remember.
exactly.
I don't remember what it was.
I forget what the hell it was.
Yeah, but we have those things where it's like I used to make fun of these things, but now I totally get it. And hiking is one that was immediate. The second we went into the woods and started smelling those like evergreens and then the ferns and like the mint that is like a part of the weeds and stuff, it just rocks your world. It's like something you can't explain when you're so used to artificial all day and you get out there and it's just nothing but pure nature and the people you love. It's dang near therapeutic, if not straight up therapeutic.
Oh, it is 100%. Like we'll be out in the woods on the skateboards, like literally every weekend, multiple times a day. So like we'll go out in the morning once and then we'll go out in the afternoon or something before dinner. And like, we'll still go for another skate like afterwards. Cause we'll just go straight down our street, dip into the woods. And then we're in the woods for like a half hour before you pop out at the next trail. And it's a cool way to do it on the boards too. Because then you can get out and stop and walk around wherever you want. And then you can just kind of cruise your way through a trail. But Jill is literally back there every single day with Sir, our dog. He's just, walking around back with her all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's on the top of Cadillac Mountain.
Oh, and Acadia?
Yeah.
Oh man, so did you do the sunrise and all that stuff?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Man, we didn't
And
get to
that
do it because we had the kids, but we will one day.
the sun was fogged out, I think one of the days we were there, but that was right on the back side of Beehive.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, man. I know all those names. Wow.
yeah, so I brought Jill up the face of Beehive, not telling her what it was, and I didn't really mention that there was like rungs that you had to walk across, and rails hammered into rocks that you had to just kind of climb up a face of, and when you look down, like there's nothing and there's no ropes, and it's like 1,000-foot drop.
Whoo.
But she was a trooper. She made it, and she would probably love it if you like changed the screen from that photo because it's one of her least favorite photos of herself.
I love this picture. I think it's a fantastic picture.
I love it too, and I'm going to torture her with it forever. But she's always like, "I hate that photo."
Oh
But
no, it's great. And she
I
says,
love it.
Nick tried to throw me off the mountain before marrying me twice.
Well, what the funny part about the twice? So like, I made the joke. So when we were coming back down it the second time, so we did it once the first day and it was great, and we decided to go back the second day, and it had rained all night, and it was raining a little bit in the morning, and she's like, and we're like, but we're already determined to go, so we went, and we had to climb up all those same iron rungs and everything else, and they were all slippery and soaked. And so we're walking back down the back side of it, and I'm a little ways ahead of her, and I was like, all right, well, plan B, marry her, I guess. And she's like, what was that? And I was like, I can't wait to get married. It's gonna be great. And
she's like, you said the first part out loud.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like, this was like the final test, wasn't it? It's like,
right.
She makes it off the mountain. I guess we're good to go.
Yeah. So when I say like spring activities, and I love that Joshua said that, hiking is at the tippity top of our excited list. I can't wait for list. I am obsessed with hiking, and I love the physical aspect of it. I mean, we'll walk 25,000 steps just in a simple hike. I mean, we'll do miles and miles and miles, and you don't even realize it's like fake exercise because it's so rewarding and so fun.
It like tricks you into thinking you're having a great time the whole time, which you are, which is awesome. Now, hiking, footwear. What are you? Where do you fall in the vast range of hiking footwear?
So I wear boots, hiking boots, specifically Adidas hiking boots, and I've had several. I've had the Merrells or whatever.
Merrells.
Merrells. But I like the Adidas boots that I have. They're a little bit more my style, and they are just above the ankle. Nothing too crazy. They've got good grip on the bottom, and that's all I really have for them.
So okay, so so if I'm somewhere warm, I'm barefoot hiking most of the time. And if I can't because it's too rocky or something and I can't go barefoot, I still use basically just minimalist running shoes or minimalist shoes. So I do like the Merrell, either like the vapor gloves or the air gloves or the trail gloves. Those are pretty cool too. Jill started wearing oh yeah, so Corey Hawkins is the same boat as me. He's either barefoot or minimalist shoe, and so
he does this stuff for a living.
Okay, yeah, Jill found this brand. I forget the name of it. She'll have to put it in the chat. I always forget the damn name of these shoes, but you can't go barefoot in Texas. No, you'd be definitely looking Vivo. She likes the Vivos. They come from overseas somewhere. I don't know where, but they're super cool.
Yeah, these are my exact pair that I have right here.
I like the style of those a lot.
And that's what I'll be honest. I got them for the style, and I think they're perfect. In Michigan, you're like for our hikes, if you do any Michigan state trail, you're normally going through forest, into sand, into like a beach area, into like so many different kind of like terrains.
So you got to be waterproof.
It's got to be waterproof, like extremely, extremely important if you want to keep your feet dry.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to go up. We have a lot of rock faces, especially in the UP in northern Michigan.
Yep.
So for me, this was like the most versatile, and they are unbelievably comfy. And that's not even just saying that, like they really are comfortable shoes.
Like if I'm going somewhere that's mixed, wet, dry, like what you just described.
Yeah.
I have a pair of, I've been fans of the A Solo hiking shoes. It's like ASOLO. And there's
Yeah.
they have a bunch of them. But I mean, I found a pair that's like really nice, like kind of, kind of a plain gray looking shoe, but it's like Gore-Tex lined. They're lightweight. They feel really good. See, some of the A solos are just they're really nice. Like they make some really crazy like alpine level stuff, and then they make just regular hiking shoes.
Now, are you going like shoes or are you going like boot?
I'm going shoe,
Wow.
but not like that low. Like mine's kind of, I guess, like a mid ankle. It's like partway between the boot and the ankle. I don't like the ankle support.
Okay.
But I definitely, if I'm not going to go minimalist shoe because I need a sole to protect me from stuff on the ground, I'm definitely still going no ankle support. Like the ones to the right of that, I think are probably about the height of mine.
Kind of like this or low or higher?
No, I'd have to show you. I'd have to find a pair here because I don't do anything with colors on them really either. I'm kind of like a,
Yeah. Mine are all black and gray. And I have my first pair of hiking boots were actually from Walmart, probably 5-6 years ago, and I still have them. They're literally in the garage. They're essentially it's muddy outside. I need to work in the yard, my like work in the yard boots, but they're hiking boots from Walmart, and they have held up wonderfully.
Dude, isn't that crazy though? Like you'll end up spending the money on something once in a while, and then like it ends up being one of those crazy things where like the cheap ones that you bought at first end up outlasting all of the expensive ones that you buy after.
Yeah, straight up.
That's happening. Oh, here we go. Let me put this in the chat. These are actually really, really similar to mine. Let me pull these up and I'll chat it to you here.
Cool. So I got to visualize this. I got the barefoot done.
The barefoots are easy to picture,
We've seen the tattoos. All right, we got it. I have never gone in any level of hiking barefoot, but that does intrigue me because as hippie as it sounds and stuff, me and Sam are like trying to help out all of her like central nervous system and stuff, and we're trying grounding and all that, and it's at the very least it's pleasant. and so okay, these are sweet. I like those.
Yeah, and so they got some behind the ankle support. They got good kick resistance in the toe. Really low laces, which I like. Like the A Solo is one of the things about them, since they come from the UK originally, is like the laces go damn near all the way down to your toe, so you can adjust like
different.
Yeah, you can adjust the how it's like tightened in front of the ball of your foot on it, and then behind it that way, so you're not just left to leaving something squeezing like a wedge past the ball of your foot.
Yeah, I like that. That'll
Does
work.
It come in black, Bruce? Yeah, exactly. That's like my first question whenever I find a pair of shoes I'm like, well, these are pretty sweet. Did they just come in all black instead of neon pink and orange?
Right. And Corey says, one of my favorite memes is poking fun at hardcore outdoor enthusiasts who need name brand stuff and then saying, my 4-year-old does it barefoot.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of my favorite things too, Corey, is like you see these people in Hawaii when we were out there hiking, and they have like literally like Teva but I got corrected out there. Teva. I always said Teva. It's not. It's Teva.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, from the person who like literally worked at one of their biggest distributors, was like, actually, it's pronounced Teva, and I'm like, wow, yeah, that's funny. And he's like, no, it's actually Teva.
Wow, every lady in America has Tevas. Now I got to rock their world and tell them they're wrong.
I did not know, and I got told is what I did. I got served up on the pronunciation of sandals.
At least we know now.
But yeah, you see them; they're out there. So like, oh, I didn't know that. Always said Teva. So, dude, me too. And listen, I would love for someone to disprove this very smug woman at this shoe distributor, because I didn't fact check her afterwards. But now saying it, I was like, oh God, I can like hear her in my brain telling me that I was wrong.
Right.
So I'd love to find out that all of us are actually right and that she was wrong.
Okay, so here's the situation. We are getting ready to wrap up here. Here's the situation, right? I know words that are also correct, but the public common use is not. Right. How do you say it? If you are like, yes, I have my Tevas, you come off as pompous. You come off as arrogant. How do you navigate? And it's like, no, I'm just saying the truth. But if you say it the right way, it's like, oh, yes, my boots are Adidas, which is how you say Adidas. It's Adidas. And it's like, but you can't say, I don't know how to navigate those waters.
So like, I think I'll just say it. I think I fall in line. Yeah. Temu. It's not Temu. It's Temu.
But you sound like a jerk if you're like, oh yeah, I got my Temu order.
Oh God. So I go on the line. I'll do two things. I'll go on the line of popular opinion and as what sounds less douchey.
Yes,
I
that's
think
what I
is
do.
where I fall too.
That's what I do.
Me too. And I don't care if it's wrong at that point because I'm
Agreed.
what? I don't sound like a, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I don't want to correct you. I don't want, because it'll
No.
happen. It'll be like, oh my gosh, I got my new Tevas. And then the people that are real smug about it, they won't
Oh,
correct you. They'll be like, oh yes, I
actually,
love my
Teva.
Tevas.
Oh, that's the where they correct you
Without
without
correcting.
correcting you. Yeah, they just say it themselves. Oh, those dirty bastards. Because they're leaving you in a tight spot where, like, outwardly you can't act aggressive back towards them because they were so passive to you. But you know what it meant, and they know what it meant, and that's all that matters.
Don't do that, people. Don't do that.
Don't be a passive corrector. Don't.
So,
That sounds like a name of a new prog metal band. Passive corrector.
ooh, write that down.
Yeah, write that one down. Someone go start a prog metal band right now. 1, 2, 3, go.
My favorite part of Parks and Rec is the different band names that Andy comes up with instead of Mouse Rat and Rat Mouse.
Oh, dude.
Everything's a band name, and it's so true. Like, it's so true.
Oh, God. Love that.
All right.
Holy
I
crap.
hate to do this, guys. We're flowing, we're vibing, but it is actually 2:00. It's not even leading up to it. It is 2:00 right now.
Ooh.
Man, that was cool. Didn't know where this was going to go, but I'm so happy when it went in every direction it did. We will be back next week. Make sure if you guys haven't, check out the Instagram. Check out the content that they put. It's also on Facebook as well. But I will put a link in the chat right now in case anybody's like, oh, yeah, you know what? I don't actually follow Dr. Nick's on Instagram. Give them a look. You get to actually see this side of Nick and Jill. Oftentimes there's a lot of information about the company, about the products, but you also get to know them on more of a personal level and behind the scenes of the lifestyle of the company. So consider giving them a follow or at least a look on Instagram. And we will be back 1 p.m. Eastern next Tuesday. Nick, final words?
Oh, man. Yeah. Nope. Next Tuesday, we'll be back 1:00, and I'll be freshly back from New York with hopefully the last session on the Trash Polka sleeve over here. So Jill and I and Sir will all be making the drive down there Saturday morning, and they're going to go hang out and take walks in Central Park while I'm down getting some tattoo work done. And then we're all going to go be dirtballs and eat pizza out of a box in Brooklyn in a hotel room somewhere and then drive home on Sunday.
Living the dream, man.
So, hey, I'm sure we'll have some good stories from that.
Oh, yeah.
No trip to New York is complete without some kind of chaos.
Yes, please report all.
I will. And we'll see you guys right back here next Tuesday, 1:00, and be amazing. Until then.
All right, guys, take care.